Welcome back to another video of Dead by Daylight. My name is Cubeproductions. Today we're using Skull Merchant as always. Using a hex build. Yes, a hex build with Skull Merchant. It's something I never do in the channel because of the fact that hexes kinda suck. But I'll explain more as to why we're using this build in the future in like 10 seconds. First, we're using Hex Crowd Control. What the perk does is very simple. If a survivor were to fast vault a window, the window automatically gets blocked forever, but the perk can only block 5 windows at a time, and then if the perk is cleansed, of course, then the perk goes away and all the windows get unblocked. Now this blocking affects every single survivor, so it's really good. We have Hex Survivor Hook, very simple. If we hook a survivor and then a survivor gets unhooked when we get 20 away from the hook, we get a token. At 2 tokens, we get a speed buff after we hook a survivor. At 3, we can make all survivors exposed. At 5, we can kill all survivors. Really strong perk allows us basically to expose all survivors and then kill them to end the game quickly. Next perk we have, of course, is Hex the Third Seal. Basically, after we hook a survivor, after we hit a survivor by any means, spectral attack or normal attack, they become blinded until literally the hex goes away. I like this perk a lot too, but I'll explain again why I don't really like using hex perks in a minute. And then lastly, we have Hexer of the Hunt, very similar perk. For every single totem that is either a dual totem or a hex totem that's on the map, survivors have a 12% debuff to doing all totems. So basically, the more totems we have, the longer it takes for survivors to do totems, which helps us protect the totems and get them off totems as well. We then have, of course, Brown Noise Generator, which makes all survivors oblivious when they have a cloud trap on them, and ultrasonic speaker to make it so we can cloud trap survivors much quicker. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I read every single comment and I love reading y'all's comments. And also make sure you join the Discord server. Link will be in the description where you can post all your builds and everything that you want inside the Discord server. And I love talking to y'all. Speaking of builds, the reason why we're making this video is because of this person right here. So in the Discord server, one of my most recent person who has joined, named Skullin, I said welcome to them, of course, and basically I asked them if they had any builds they recommend me use because of the fact that I just could not think of any more unique builds for Skull Merchant because it feels so difficult to pick a unique fun build that's not gen related, because if I don't have gen defense, I just lose. So I recommend this build, and basically it's the exact same build that you just saw at the beginning of the video, except the difference is they have genetic limits instead of instead of hex crowd control, and they have prototype rotor instead of ultrasonic speaker. But I changed those two because of the fact that I want to try out crowd control, because I never use crowd control because it's a hex totem, and I wanted to use ultrasonic speaker, that way I can make the survivors oblivious, or get the survivors to be cloud trapped faster, making it so the brown noise generator will be able to activate quicker. But anyway, let's get straight to the video so I can show you how great hex builds are with Skull Merchant. Okay, playing on Fractured Cowshed. This map is pretty big, honestly, which is why I don't like it. But because we have a hex build and it takes a long time for survivors to actually cleanse our totems, it should hopefully work out. Now, sadly, we only have one video for this game. We only have one game for this video, and the reason for that is because at the time of recording this video, I wasn't feeling my best when it comes to like health. So I was kind of sick-ish, and then also I had to work. So I was like, well, I have to work. I don't feel well, but I do want to record a video. So I decided to try and record a video. So I definitely saw a crow move over here before I walked over here. So I expected somebody to be over here, but it was no one here. So I was like, great. So I'm gonna go towards this gen, hope I find somebody. And again, there's no one here. So I'm like, well, one gen is probably already at 60% because I spent like 25 seconds nowhere near nothing. Because you know how this game works. If you don't do a gen, if you don't automatically survive off one gen, it's gonna be completed in like 10 seconds. So I'm mentally prepared for a gen to be completed, right, really quickly. But instead, I found somebody. I found Fang Min, and then literally, as I'm trying to chase her, she has live. There we go. There's that gen. Told you. So because of this reason, I'm like, well, this is a terrible start. And like I told you at the beginning of the video, I've been trying to make these unique builds, but it's like gen defense is just something that if you don't have it, you lose. So I found Fang Min again, and somehow she ended up over here, even though I literally saw her go one direction. But I found her. Now she is blinded thanks to my Hexer the Third Seal. Now Hexer the Third Seal is actually a really good perk. I like it a lot. The only issue is, well, first thing first, it's the best perk in the entire game for inflicting blindness on survivors because it lasts forever. And blindness is not even a bad side effect to put on survivors. The issue of blindness, as somebody decided to get rid of my drone, the issue of blindness is the fact that blindness is only useful if you actually can make it like last a super long time. And while Skull Merchant does have an add-on, I believe it's called High Power Floodlight, a brown add-on that basically allows podcast survivors to be blinded. And also there goes my Hexer Seal, by the way. that's really good add-on for Scar Merchant. It's not really worth running because of the fact that you gotta be blinded for 45 seconds, and that's basically it. So it's Survivor, get rid of my drone, but luckily for me, I found somebody else, and I'm trying to swing. I hit a wall somehow, and then I'm going to not get hit by that. I'm gonna mind game this, even though I probably shouldn't even mind game it, honestly, because what the Survivor should have done is the Survivor should have kept running, but instead he tried to just mind game that really good pallet. Again, I should have brought that pallet, but whatever. So I'm trying to mind game this bad pallet. Well, sorry, this really good pallet, and I actually do successfully mind game, and I landed 4 basic hits. Go me. Then we're gonna hook the Survivor somewhere else quickly and try and move forward. Because the whole point, we were trying to get at least three stacks of our Hex of our Hope, so we can try and down Survivors instantly. But yeah, that's the reason why I only uploaded one game for this video, because I was just kind of busy. But don't worry, the next video I'll be using something kind of similar to this, and you'll see how good it works out. So anyway, become untouchable. We can sneak them in the Survivor right here. I thought I heard somebody else, but in reality, it's only one person. So I'm gonna kick that gen and leave them be, because they'll eventually. I don't want to go chase them because they're running in the direction of the hook, and if I go too close to the hook, then I'm gonna be able to actually get my stack of Devour Hope. So I chose to just not chase them at all because a crow moved over here. I know somebody's over here somewhere. I just gotta pay attention to figure what they are. Then I hear a totem explode. I'm like, please don't be my Hex, my Devour Hope. And luckily for me, it was actually not Devour Hope. It was actually crowd control, which again is useless. Now, as you can see, I've already gotten 2 of my 4 Hex totems destroyed. So I'm like, great. And this is one of the reasons why I don't use Hex perks, because they get destroyed too easily. And the worst part is, like, the Hex perks are supposed to be strong, but it's like they're strong in certain situations, but they're also really weak because they can be destroyed in like 7 seconds. Also, the way the Hex spawn, Hex systems sometimes spawn near Survivors across the map, and there's no way you could have ever defended if you're playing Storm Merchant, which is the reason why I just don't like Hex totems. But anyway, luckily for me, I actually hit her. Normally, I would probably hit the rock, but luckily the game didn't try to auto aim me into the rock, so I actually get the hit. But I was just really worried that I was going to lose my Hex of our Hope, because I'm like, if I lose this perk, I actually lose the game. And yeah, that's really, really bad. I thought she would have, you know, went the other way because she saw me going that way, but instead she just dropped the pallet. I was like, you're weird. So I just left her because I realized I see people right here. I should have brought this pallet, but I finally break it because I don't know why it took so long to break this thing. It's literally a god pallet, so I don't know why it took so long. But I try to like not break pallets if I don't need to, but I realized I kind of need to. Now, luckily for me, she ran right in front of me for some unknown reason, so I get a free hit. And then I expect somebody to try and go on that gen again, but because of the fact that I see the Fang Men injured, I want to first check to make sure that no one's on my totem, and then now that no one's on my totem, I'm gonna grab the Fang Men. But then I see someone else here, so I'm like, oh. But then it hit me. They're back at the gen in the main building, because not only do they appear on the radar, they also disabled the drone, which means there's at least one person at the main building who's injured, because there has, well, hopefully there's one person who's injured there. I feel blood on the ground, I'm untouchable, and I catch him off guard. So as a result, I killed him. Now, one little tip I'll give y'all as a Storm Merchant player: you can use your you know how obviously Survivors have the UI where they can see whenever a person's being chased. You can kind of use this to your advantage, and if a Survivor is being chased, you can become untouchable and then turn back around and basically catch other Survivors off guard, because they're thinking to themselves like, oh, he's being chased, I don't even really have to worry about Storm Merchant, and then you appear out of nowhere and you slice their throats. And I like doing that a lot. It actually works out a lot in my favor. So right here, I'm like, great, they're gonna go for the unhook. I'm gonna try and kill one of these people. So I'm gonna try and catch her. I'm gonna try and like cut her off, but there's no way I can, so I'm just gonna miss. But luckily for me, the Fang Men's here, so I expected them to go back. So I kind of went back for a second, and then in reality, they actually both went forward. I don't know why none of them tried to actually run the shack, but for some strange reason, they both decided to run the shack. So I expected a dead hard or her to fall off the pallet, but instead I miss, and I'm like, wow. So I hit her, and because of the fact that he got unhooked right after I hit the guy, I realized something. They all now know that I have Hex or our Hope because of the fact that they are exposed. So kind of a misplay. If I didn't actually miss that first hit right there, they would never have known this. So now I'm praying they don't find my Hex totem. Now keep in mind, it's like 17 people have basically passed that one Hex totem right there. So I'm praying that nobody's aware of it and they don't try and go after it. I'm not untouchable, but I am able to see there's a Survivor right here. But there's actually 2 Survivors over here. So I'm trying to go after one of them. We're going to go after this girl because she's closer. The pallet was never thrown down because of the fact that I remember last time I actually downed the Survivor last time. So so the pallet is never thrown down. So I expect her to go for the pallet, so I swing immediately, maybe to hit her. But instead, she actually goes to the left for some reason. So I'm like, okay. So this pallet's really, really unsafe. So there's no way she's gonna be able to mind game me. And I swing and hit her. So I'm pretty happy. Also, the way I play, I kind of play aggressively because if y'all don't know this, the way I record my videos is I record them by listening through the TV and not listening through the my headphones, because I can't record my content and have my headphones at the same time, or it won't record the sound of the game, which is definitely a problem. And I feel like I can fix it, but I just buy something that can fix it. But I gotta look up what to buy, and I haven't built it up yet. So that's the reason why you see me play so weirdly. Like I kind of swing a lot, and I kind of miss my hits a lot, because I hear the survivors, but I can never really fully judge where they are until I see them. But in most of my situations, I need to swing first, ask questions later. Because if I swing and I get the hit, that's great. If I don't, that's bad. So right here, I see a crow go up, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's definitely somebody on this totem, because a crow went up. I see scratch marks, and there's indeed somebody on this totem. I'm so glad I caught them, or else I would have lost the game. So right here, now keep in mind, as a killer, I have no way to know what totem's which. But let's assume that is the Hex of Our Hope. I know somebody's around here because I definitely saw them. There she is, it's Feng Min. They went for the rescue, which means that I have 5 stacks now, which means I can actually murder Feng Min. So now, her soul is mine. Also, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the game. They did have an offering for the hatch to spawn at the shack, just so you know. Throw her body on the ground like trash, and then we continue. This girl's gonna die on the hook if she's like, I give up, I can't win. I'm like, I understand. But she's gonna curls up on the hook. And then survivors do the generator across the map near the shack because of the fact that they realize that they can't win. Now keep in mind, like I said before, at least 2 or 3 survivors have seen my totem on the left. So I'm a little surprised that I haven't cleansed it yet, but I guess they're afraid to get one shot by Skull Merchant, which is understandable. So now I'm gonna go back towards the shack, because the only other place I can think of that I haven't been to yet is the shack, and they did just complete one of my totems, become untouchable and try and catch a survivor off guard. So I can hear that this generator definitely has progress on it, but I don't see anybody, so I'm like, hello. And I was untouchable, so in my head I'm like, but y'all have to be around here somewhere. But then I hear injured people, and I see somebody right here. I'm like, okay, weirdest dead heart ever. And I was like, oh, okay. And I murder her. So yeah, I don't know why she dead hearted right there. I know why she wanted to survive, but it's just funny because she dead hearted so badly that she ends up dying as a result. And then the girl behind me is like, and then she goes towards the hatch, and I'm like, that's funny. So yes, that was the game. Boop, done the hatch. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I read every single comment. Sorry for the short video, but I really wanted to just post a game before I ended up going to work and everything like that. And also, is a viewer build. Oh, not really a viewer build, because he didn't like ask me to use this, but I wanted to showcase this build in my videos. So thank you, Scullin, for even recommending this build in the first place. Of course, if y'all have any other builds y'all wanted to use, make sure you join the Discord server. Link will be in the description, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a nice